Hello, my dear ones. Welcome. We are on day 3 of our self-love in relationship challenge, and I'm just double checking that we are all good here with our live. Let me know how you're doing. Okay, I see that we are good. I wanted to just start with something really exciting. I just did an interview on a really popular show about self-love. And I also have another big roundtable discussion on the topic on Saturday. So things are happening. Our self-love revolution is gearing up. I'm now talking about it on different platforms. Actually, the platform that I'm going to be talking on Saturday apparently has a viewership of 2 million people. It's a little hard to believe. But yeah, so things are really happening. Look what happens when we practice self-love. All good things come to us, and this revolution is in high gear. Did you see Debbie, you saw the interview? Yay! And I have to thank Debbie. It was from Debbie that I met this amazing woman, another Debbie, who runs this show and the other show on Saturday. So Debbie, thank you so much for connecting us. I loved talking to her. She's amazing. We talked so much about self-love and a lot of the practices that we've been doing. So sisters and brothers, things are happening. The self-love revolution is on. It is happening. And the biggest good morning to my dear sister, Jamie, who has just been such a support. And my dear sister, Debbie, I'm just so grateful for all of you. Let me know how you are this beautiful morning, Wednesday morning. How is everything in your life? How is it going with the self-love in relationship practices that we've been talking about? I would love to hear. I'll say for myself that the 10 days we did in the self-love challenge, mostly just about our own love towards ourselves. And then the 2 days we've done so far in the self-love in relationship, it's working. I feel so much more initiated and so much more grounded and just a much deeper power within me around self-love, just vis-a-vis myself, and self-love in my relationships. So it's working. It is working for me. Let me know if it is working for you. Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you so much. Oh, and Lisa is here. Woohoo! And Joe is coming in. So exciting. So just to back up, we are on day 3 of our self-love in relationship challenge. And I'll just start with recapping the first 2 days and the practices. And then we will go into our really powerful day 3 practice. So exciting. So day 1 on Monday, the first practice was a fearless, radical commitment to your own happiness. That above all, you are honoring, you are privileging your own happiness, that you are here on the planet to enjoy your life. Of course, to expand, of course, to go through certain adventures and learn and expand and grow. And you are also here to have every happiness, every joy, every contentment. So our day 1 practice was a fearless, radical commitment to your own happiness. If your relationship over the long term is not serving your happiness, maybe we just let it go at that point. And the mantra, the affirmation we were using around this practice is I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. And if you feel like saying that with me right now, I know I love to say it. It feels so good to say. I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. And I'll say hello to my mom. I think you're on YouTube. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you all so much for being here. I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. How does that feel in your body? Does that feel good? It feels good. It feels good to me. It feels really, really good. Beautiful, beautiful. And oh, Johanna is here. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. Beautiful. Okay, and then yesterday on day 2, our practice was you and only you are responsible for your life and happiness. You and only you are responsible for your life and happiness. How does that feel? How does that feel to you in your body? I know, at least in the beginning, when I really, really, really got this, it felt a little scary. Oh, I'm responsible for my own happiness. Okay. It can at times, in the beginning at least, feel a little almost intimidating. Oh, I need to take ownership of my own life. Okay. All right, I can do that. And then as I more fully embodied this practice, to me it started to feel so empowering and so freeing. You mean to say that no matter what is happening outside of me, I can still be content, I can still be joyful, I can still be at peace? That my life is an inside job, really. My happiness is an inside job, no matter what is happening on the external, that I'm in control of my own life and my own happiness. Oh, well, that sounds awesome. That to me sounds like freedom. Let freedom ring. May all beings be free. So that was our practice yesterday. And the mantra affirmation we were using yesterday is I and only I am responsible for my life and happiness. Do you want to say it? It feels so good. It feels so freeing. I and only I am responsible for my life and happiness. Woo! We are free. We are free. We are free to create the life we want. It is our responsibility. It is our capability. We got this. You got this. So, in relationship, these are very powerful self-love practices. I'm committed to my own happiness, and I understand my own happiness, my own life is my responsibility. It is not my partner's responsibility. And something really powerful we talked about yesterday was, of course, we can talk to our partners about what we ideally want and how we interact with each other. And I come from a therapy background, so that's a lot of what I've done with clients is help them talk to each other. But a really powerful practice that we talked about yesterday, which I believe is a bit of an expansion here, is embodying what you desire in relationship. So, for instance, in one of my close relationships, I was having, I would say, some discomfort about how the other person was speaking to me. I felt there was sarcasm, defensiveness, some other difficult behaviors, and I would talk to this person and say, "Hey, can you try to speak more lovingly to me?" Making a request. And somehow from spirit, I just got in this new orientation tassel, embody what you want. Just, you don't need to ask. Be what you want. Create what you want right now. So, when I'm speaking to this person or anyone, and if the conversation takes a turn into territory that is not respectful, that is not loving to me, I graciously excuse myself. I do not participate. I do not participate. I'm responsible. I'm responsible for what I participate in. I am responsible, and I am choosing now in this orientation of self love to not participate in non loving interactions. I am embodying what I want. I'm not relying so much on asking for other people to act a certain way with me. I am simply setting very clear boundaries and practices for myself about what I will and will not participate in. And this feels so freeing. You mean I don't need to participate in anything that feels uncomfortable for me in that way, that feels unloving, that feels disrespectful? I don't need to do that? Awesome. I am so all in with that. Some great comments here. Uh, Life is good in general and getting better with some deep stirrings and moving through some uncomfortable stuff and redoing some areas of my self love foundation. Wow. Thank you. Yes, I have a feeling. Thank you so much for sharing so honestly here that so many of us are in that exact process. And I'm so glad you spoke to this. Um, I'm in that exact process too. I exactly. I'm moving through some things that are uncomfortable. I have my eyes wide open. I'm seeing things that I'm really committed to shifting. I'm grounding more into my own self-love. And I think so many of us, our sisters and brothers, are on this exact path right now. And it's beautiful to be really transparent about it and to know it's perfect and to know throughout our soul's evolution, we will always be expanding in some way. And that's part of the adventure that we're on. So just feeling good about that, honoring that it's a constant expansion, it's a constant evolution, and we probably can always go deeper into our self-love, always go deeper into our self-trust, always see with eyes more wide open about our interactions. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to say hello to my dear sister Wendy, who is here. And Debbie has an amazing affirmation: I am love, I am happiness, I am peace. That feels so good. That feels so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. It's so beautiful. So, thank you so much for sharing what is going on for you all. We are all in this process together. We are sisters and brothers in this self love revolution. We are holding each other's hands. We are in solidarity. We are in full support of everyone here, of everyone on the planet. And we are starting with ourselves as we embody, as we practice, as we further develop our own self-love. We send that templating, we send that energy out to all of our sisters and brothers, and we literally change the planet. So amazing work that we are all doing. Amazing work that we are all doing. Oh, great. Debbie says you're embodying what you want. if you want to share more about that, I'd love to hear. This is just so powerful to me. It takes the reins back to yourself. You are in control of the situations that you have in your life. So amazing. Oh, I love, Christina, what you've shared. I compare it to my enjoying lovely things in my life and constantly upgrading them. I love that. I love that so much. And to me, you're speaking about gratitude. Uh, I'm grateful for who I am now. I'm grateful for my life now. And I'm also excited and grateful for the expansion of myself and my life and everything. I'm grateful now. I'm grateful for the past and I'm grateful for the future. I'm grateful at all points is so powerful. Gratitude is such a generating energy. When we live in gratitude, we only create more to come in to be grateful for. Okay. Such great shares. Everyone's just doing amazing work. Light workers extraordinaire. Amazing. So today, day 3, we have a really exciting practice, and I'm calling this practice fearless, radical commitment to your human. And we spoke about this a little bit yesterday. I've phrased this very specifically about your human. So we're all very aware that we are spiritual, timeless, eternal beings, pieces of God, pieces of infinite consciousness that have very beautifully come down into our human vessels. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I don't know if you can relate to this or not, but I can somewhat easily uh, just constantly be in this higher perspective of everything is happening to serve me. Catalysts are coming in so that I can see my shadow and I can feel my uncomfortable feelings and I can release them and move it through and clear my energy field and ascend. And everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Everything is happening to serve the highest and best for me and all connected to me. This is truth. This is absolute truth. This is the larger spiritual perspective of what is happening. At the same time, what the human is experiencing in life is also real and is also from my guidance to be very much honored and to be very much validated and to be very responded to. So I more recently have taken an orientation of, yes, of course, everything is happening for highest and best. It's all good, all is well. And how is my human experiencing some of these maybe uncomfortable, challenging, maybe painful situations? And what does my human need and want in relationship? And to really, really honor that. And I'll just also mention here, there's this phrase, twin flames. And I'm still sort of figuring out twin flames myself, but I do believe I am currently in what I'm calling a twin flame relationship. And what that seems to mean is that with my partner, we seem to bring to each other a lot of catalyst so that we can see our shadow. And I got so into this idea that I was overlooking to a certain degree my own human's needs and desires in this relationship. I was almost just seeing everything as a catalyst. And I don't know if you've had that experience or not, but it really was a great lesson for me that, of course, I want to see the spiritual perspective, but I also really want to honor my human and what my human really desires. So this is a new, I would say, expansion for me, a new stage in my partnership of I'm really coming back to my human. And I'm really talking about with myself mostly, what do I really want in my human relationships? What do I really want? What are my humans' desires in relationship? What is important to me in relationship? And of course, I also want to know what is important to my partner. So, probably we're all really familiar with love languages and how do you most enjoy experiencing love? For some people, it's words of affirmation. For some people, it's acts of service. For some people, it's physical gifts. And it's all great and it's all unique to each one of us. So I just want to say hi to Dean. Dean, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. And Jamie says, yeah, from the Lego movie, everything is awesome. And it's so true. Everything is perfect and is awesome and is happening for us. And at the same time, what does your human want? We can have both experiences. We can really honor the challenging situations that come in part to totally expand us and help us. And at the same time, we can absolutely pursue our dreams for what we really desire in this life. So if it's resonant, I'm just going to throw out there right now to just take a few moments right now to tune in. To me, it always is helpful to even imagine me going into my heart mind. Tune in. What do you really desire in your intimate relationship or in any of your relationships? What really, really makes your heart sing? What really is like, oh, wow, I really love that. I really love that. So, just if you feel like sharing, I'll share some of my real human needs and desires in relationship. And what we're really saying here is a deep honoring, a deep, deep, pervasive, radical, ubiquitous, comprehensive honoring of your humans' needs, desires in every aspect of life. And in particular, right now, we're talking about vis a vis your relationship. So if anyone feels like sharing, I'd love to hear, what do you really enjoy in a relationship? What really gets you juiced up? What really makes you feel really loved by the other person? And I will share maybe my top one, maybe my number one. I would say it's a need. I would say it's a need is to feel heard and that there is an effort to understand me and who I am and what is important to me. Um, in My partner and I have a course called the Namaste Method, and it's about communication. And it really, it really has been developed from our own blood, sweat, and tears, and lots of disastrous conversations between us. And in one of the lessons in this Namaste method, we talk a lot about active listening. I'm so into active listening. I believe active listening can transform a relationship. And what I mean by active listening is if you're having a conversation about something important, something maybe possibly uncomfortable or tricky, to really make a commitment to use active listening. So it simply means, for instance, I talk, my partner listens. That's it. They do not say anything. They do not respond. They do not defend. They do not give their side of the story. They only listen. And then when I am finished speaking, my partner summarizes what I have said. And then we switch. And then my partner speaks, I listen. What I have found with this practice is it's so helpful on each side. When I actively listen to my partner, I will end up hearing things I would not have heard. And as I say and repeat what he has said, it, I understand more. It gives me more understanding, more insight to his experience. And we each feel heard. We each feel heard. Honestly, for me in communication, that's what's most important to me. I really care less about what actually happens in the particular situation that we're talking about. I care more that I am being listened to, and there's an effort to try to understand me. To me, this is very important in a relationship. I would say this is a need of mine. I don't think I would be able to stay in a relationship over the long term where this was not happening. So that is a need of mine. And one of the phrases we introduce in the Namaste method is what I heard you say. When my partner says this to me, it's the favorite thing he ever says to me. What I heard you say is, and then he repeats what I said. And I'm not exactly even sure why this is so powerful for me. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could explain. Um, but I just feel really, really heard. And actually, as I'm thinking about it, I think it's partly because growing up in my life, I did not feel heard. I really didn't feel heard. So it could be that some of our really more powerful needs or desires that we have in our adult relationships could partly be from the values that we developed from the absence or lack of these practices earlier on in our lives. So I think that is a big part of it for me. I did not feel heard earlier in my life. So at this point, being heard and also hearing the other person, the mutuality of that is such a value to me. It is so important to me. Uh, so if anyone wants to share any of your really profound needs or desires in relationship, I would love to hear. Um, let's see, I'll share another one. Another one is really just that there's effort. We come together in partnership, and God bless all of us. There's two different people. We each come with our own challenges from the past, our own traumas from the past, our own stories, our own hurts, our own pains. We come with stuff, right? All of us are coming into relationship with stuff, with our own stuff. And we also come from different cultures, even just everyone could be from the West, but even if your spiritual perspective is a bit different, that is a different culture. For instance, my partner, um, he doesn't really see time, which is awesome. That's great. He's very much in a more non-linear consciousness. Fantastic. But this is a different culture between us because I do still pretty much live in the land of time and he doesn't. So two cultures coming together can be challenging. So two people come together with all of their stuff, with all of their own culture, with all of their own values, with their own dreams, with their own preferences, with their own dislikes. Oh, it's a lot, right? We are all really complex, fascinating creatures. And we come together, and usually there's a honeymoon period where all the differences are usually quite exciting. And that's what adds a lot of excitement and expansion to the relationship are the differences. Uh, but usually what happens is over time, the difference is there needs to be harmonization between the two people with the differences. And that is also just a beautiful place for expansion is the harmonization. But in order to harmonize, each person ideally tunes in. What are your really super important needs in relationship? What are your really super important desires in relationship? And how do we come together and as a team uh, make this work? So this, to me, is one of the obvious practices for longevity in relationship. I think most of us, if we are entering a relationship, our goal is usually to remain in relationship, to have longevity in the relationship in as joyful a way as possible. So for me, in the beginning of my current relationship, I was not honoring my human's needs and desires in the relationship. And it was my own responsibility. I was not doing it. And I was setting the relationship up for trouble by not doing that. And what I also want to say here is part of the reason that I wasn't more fully tuning in to my own human's needs and desires was from fear, specifically fear of abandonment. If I'm really myself with my partner, if I really communicate what's really important to me, is that okay? Will the person meet me with those needs and desires, or will they go away? Will I be too much? So a lot of the reasons why I wasn't more fully tuning in and bringing to the table my human's needs and desires was my own fear of abandonment. And like many of us, I have had a lot of relationships where if I did speak up and voice my human's needs and desires, I did experience abandonment. So this is something that we're all, not all, but if you have that experience, this is something we're working through. So where I landed on all of that in a beautiful self-love orientation is the following. The worst feeling to me is when I abandon myself. When I look back at my relational interactions, when I felt the worst, it was when I abandoned myself. I might have thought incorrectly at the time that I was feeling a lot of pain because of maybe what the other person did, and there's part of that in there. But by far, the very worst I have ever felt in my life is when I have abandoned myself. So basically, my desire not to abandon myself has become greater than any fear of being abandoned by my partner or anyone else. Um, and that has been a huge game changer for me, a huge, huge game changer. Uh, so my orientation now is in my self love practice, I am in complete solidarity, loyalty, commitment to myself and what really are my needs and also what are my desires. And if over the long term in my relationship, these needs cannot be met, then this is not the right relationship for me, right? So, my desire to stay with myself and not abandon myself overcame any fear of external abandonment. And I'm open to whatever happens. And if the relationship needs to fall away, then it needs to fall away. But I will always remain in my self-love and my commitment to myself and what I need. Uh and this again it feels really freeing and it feels so loving that I will never abandon myself. And what I need is really important. And I take myself seriously and I take my needs seriously. Joe has a fantastic question here. What do you think about your wants versus your needs? Awesome. Great question. And I think I'm still figuring this out. And please, anyone who has any thoughts on this, please chime in. We're all figuring this out together. We're all walking each other home. Uh, so to me, when I'm on my own and it's just me, then I give full commitment to my needs and my wants, right? Because I don't have to negotiate with anybody. So I can fully service both my needs and my wants. Debbie gave a great example of this last week where she was saying, I love to spend time by myself. I can do whatever I want. There's no compromise, right? Now, in relationship, I do see things a bit differently. In relationship, I know I do have some foundational needs that really do need to be met in order for me to be happy, to be content in a relationship. There are some non negotiables for me in my relationship. Now, on the side of my wants, what I would like, that is, that to me is where the harmonization takes place with the other. I may have a lot of wants and my partner may have a lot of wants and the wants that are more negotiable come into play in the harmonization of the relationship. So I think it's really powerful and healthy for each one of us to get really clear. What are my non-negotiable needs? And then what are more wants and desires that may have some more flexibility? And in the beginning of this session, we were talking about embodying what you want or what you need. And so, as I said, I've really been in a practice of embodying, particularly what I need. And for me, healthy communication, being heard, using active listening, those are needs. I need that. I need that in order for me to have healthy communication and to me a healthy relationship. So I've been excusing myself graciously when that's not happening, and I'm just embodying that. I'm creating those boundaries. I'm taking that very seriously. So I believe all of us can really tune in to our needs and really have solidarity with them. And if over the long term, again, those needs are not able to be met, then for me, that is a sign this is not the relationship for me. I am going to stay 100% loyal to my needs. That's my responsibility to take care of myself, to meet my responsibility is to meet my own needs and whatever I'm engaging in for that to meet my basic needs. And Johanna has a great comment here. Wants come from the ego, needs are provided from God. That's a really cool way to look at it. Yeah, I think we could see that sometimes our wants are from the socialization. Oh, I want my partner to interact with me in a certain way because that's what I've been taught is the loving way to interact. Um, I think it's really great to just try to break it all down and really go into your heart. What are really my heart's needs in relationship, and letting go of the social programming. But great comment there. And Joe says, "Mahalo, I'm figuring it out as well." Yes. So, of course, individual self-love, just when we're on our own, we can do it on our own, right? If I was alone for many years and I was able just to fully focus on loving myself and really deepening that practice. But it's only in relationship that we can figure out this 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 more niche self-love. How do I practice self-love when I love someone else? When there's someone else with their wants and needs and all of their stuff. So it's quite an adventure, and the only way we can do it is in relationship. And this is part of what we're really teaching each other when we are in these really intense, intimate relationships. What we're really doing on one level is really helping the other and ourselves deepen our own self love, because it's easy to totally love yourself and be all on board with that when it's just you. Now there's another person who I'm really drawn to, who I really love, who I really care about. I really hope it works out. Can I still practice such a profound self love to myself when it feels like there's so much at stake? It's a much deeper practice. It's a much deeper practice. And I believe where we all are landing is my self love must be the priority to begin with. I cannot abandon myself for anyone, for any relationship. My self love must be my priority to begin with. And then we see what happens in the relationship. So this has been such a huge expansion for me. In previous relationships, I would abandon myself. I would not practice self love. I would not speak up. I would have a lot of fear of abandonment of the other, and I was not practicing self love. And for me, it took me several years to be on my own and really learn self love, and then come into an intense partnership. And now I'm learning even a deeper practice of self love. And it's super exciting. Debbie has a great comment here. Okay, these are your needs. I'm so glad you're sharing. Thank you. People to show their love in a way I can understand, trust, support, allowance for growth and acceptance when I do, and good communication and lots of cuddles. I love that. I really love that you brought up people to show their love in a way I can understand. I'm so glad you brought that up. Uh, this has been a big thing for me in my relationship with my partner. Uh, I've come to the same orientation. Please show me love in a way that's meaningful to me. I hear that you love me, and I hear that you are trying to show me love, but sometimes I'm missing it because it's I most desire to feel love in a way that is meaningful to me, and for us to do the same to the other person. And these are all areas of expansion for each one of us, because we may be used to showing love in a certain way. And so it's an invitation for us to show love in another way. It's only growing us. uh it's beautiful. All of these interactions are just growing us to make us bigger, to give us more skills. um And Wendy, I see you have a question here. What needs are provided by God, the divine? The actions need to be in alignment with the words. So, Wendy, what I took for me when I read that comment, what I took is sometimes we may have wants that are just our socialization. So, for instance, I'll just say, I think part of my socialization was that a man would pay for things. I grew up kind of in Cinderella land, that the man is the one who pays for things. And that may be more of an ego want that maybe I still have. I'm not sure. I think I'm loosening up around all of that. But that's not a need of mine. I don't need my partner to necessarily pay for things or what we see in the movies, right? Like the man takes the woman out, all that stuff. So to me, there's some discernment about what wants does my ego have that may just be from the programming, and what needs does my heart have that are really from my soul. So that's the way I see that. Yeah, so Debbie says the actions need to be in alignment with the words. Yes. One of the practices we're going to talk about in a later day is love is a verb. It's a noun, but it's really meaningful when we look at it as a verb. How is my partner showing up for me in a way that's meaningful to me? How am I showing up for my partner in a way that's meaningful to him or her? So, and again, this all starts with us. It is our responsibility. Our life, our happiness is our responsibility. It is my responsibility for me to really tune in and discern and commit to my needs. It's my responsibility to honor and privilege my needs. It's my responsibility for me to take myself seriously. That's really that's what we're talking about in self-love in relationship. It boils down to, do I take myself seriously? Do I take myself seriously vis-a-vis another person? Or do my needs and my self-love disappear once another person is involved because maybe I have fear about being abandoned or about not being good enough or all the other very natural human emotions that can arise. But we're really, really talking about, can I take myself seriously in this relationship? Can I really tune in, privilege, honor my needs? And as seems highest and best, communicate these to my partner. And to me, most importantly, embody. Can I embody my needs? And if my needs are not being met, I'm excusing myself from the situation and possibly from the relationship altogether. So, this is our super powerful day 3 practice. And if you want, we can say an affirmation together. So, the practice is fearless, radical commitment to my human and my human's needs. So we can say, I am fearlessly, radically committed to my human's needs. How's that feel? Shall we say it again? I am fearlessly, radically committed to my human's needs. I feel like I can feel my inner child inside of me going, "Yay! Finally! Finally! You're sticking up for us. Yay! You are honoring us. You're not abandoning us in relationship." I feel like my inner child is saying that to me right now. She's doing cartwheels and she's so excited. It feels really good to me. It feels really good. I am fearlessly, radically committed to my human's needs. I and only I am responsible for my life and happiness. I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. These are the first 3 practices. How do they feel, sisters and brothers? Do they feel good? Do they feel empowering? Do they feel freeing? Amazing, amazing, amazing. So just a few more points. Every session, I really like to touch on at least some of the major foundational orientations of our whole self-love revolution. That is number 1. You, beautiful being, are perfect as you are right now. Right now. No matter what your level of self-love is, no matter what your bank account is, no matter what your consciousness is, it doesn't matter. You are a perfect, innocent, divine being, a fractal of the Creator God. You are perfect as you are. You were perfect yesterday, 10 years ago. You'll be perfect in the future. We can have gratitude and appreciation for ourselves at every moment of our beautiful journey. We can trust ourselves. This is point number 2. Whatever is arising in you, your uncomfortable feelings, your fears, you can feel through them. Your red flags, your intuition, your dreams, please trust. And you're here in part for all of your dreams to come through you. And as always, we are sisters and brothers walking each other home. And I'm so grateful for you all. And our self-love revolution is in high gear, as I mentioned. Right before our session today, I had an amazing interview about self-love on another show. And on Saturday, I've been posting the link. I'll be on another roundtable discussion about everything we've been talking about. So things are really taking off. I hope things are taking off in your life, as within, so without. As we continue to deepen in our self-love, we see incredible, miraculous transformations all around us, including in the people that we are connected to. So thank you so much. Tomorrow, we will be doing day 4. Day 4's practice is awesome. It's about honoring that the relationship is in each moment. The relationship is in each moment. This is really powerful. All right, my lovies. Thank you so much. So much love to you and your self-love journey. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.